What is up, fight fans? Back again here live with DJC Combat 2. And I just kind of want to go over some things, in regards to UFC 322, the fights that happened, what's next for Islam, and also Valentina's next fight, potential fight with Natalia Silva. So, I mean, that card, to say the least, definitely lived up to the hype, and I'm glad the UFC actually put effort into stacking matches. Thought initially the placement was just going to be main event Islam, JDM, co-main, Valentina, Whaley, and I thought the feature fight, and I think that's how it originally was going to be, Prates versus Leon, and then the rest of the card would be mid. But the UFC actually put effort. They made it a welterweight tournament. They added other welterweight fights on the card, like Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. And even though this isn't a welterweight fight, they added a guaranteed violence matchup between Beneil Dariush and Benoit Saint-Denis. And 3 out of 5 fights on the main card were finishes. And then, of course, the last 2 fights were kind of similar. They were both shutouts, 5-round domination and grappling. Most fans didn't find both fights very entertaining, but it is what it is, If Val versus Natalia stays on the feet, how do you see it going? I see it being, what's up, Smiling Aurora? I see it being very competitive, but I think as the fight goes on, the longer it stays standing, you'll start to notice Natalia is actually starting to win and get the better end of it. Which is crazy to say because usually Valentina Shevchenko is like the one who adapts to her opponents, right? But Natalia Silva, and this is why I couldn't wait to talk about this fight, because Natalia Silva is not only the only woman in this division who I think could strike with her, because I mean, Grasso struck with her and succeeded. Manon had a few moments, although that Val ultimately was better on the feet. Natalia Silva is very fast. She moves laterally. She moves in and out. Good defensively, good distance management. She will give Valentina nothing to counter, and she is the only one in this weight class who can strike with Val tit for tat at a range. She can play that range game. She can play that kicking game, and her kicks are super fast as well. So they're not going to be easy for Valentina to catch, and they're not going to be easy for Valentina Shevchenko to counter. And Natalia Silva has way more volume, way more output than Valentina Shevchenko. Shevchenko is stationary, she stands still, moves in a straight line, and she's like a reactionary counter striker. And she's effective with everything she throws because, okay, I said it was reactionary, but what she throws is very calculated, and she throws with venom, right? And she throws counters with like mean intent. But while she's standing there waiting for that perfect counter, Natalia is going to be chipping away at her with just multiple combinations. Kicks from the outside. She'll dart in with a punching combination and then slide out of range before Valentina Shevchenko has a chance to respond or land something significant. Kind of like the dynamic between Rose and Joanna, except unlike Thug Rose, Natalia has the kicking game. Man, Rose has kicks too, but they're very like slow and labored. So I think if this stays purely standing, I think Natalia Silva is going to win this fight by a decision against Valentina. Although I could picture her landing a head kick on Val, actually. I would not be surprised if at one point she drops Val with a head kick, but Val recovers. And Natalia just stays patient, but that sort of is like the beginning of the end for Val and the moment that seals it for Silva. What's up, Toron? I believe Silva's Taekwondo background will help her against Valentina, and it will allow her to be fast and precise. Yup. I think Natalia Silva is the perfect kryptonite to Valentina Shevchenko. I think if there's anyone that can beat Val and do it decisively, it's her. Alexa Grasso was able to do it, but her style wasn't built for sustained long-term success over multiple fights against Val because she's a stationary target. The strongest base of her striking is only her boxing. She stands with her legs together and in a tall stance. Um, her hips are right there, easy to grab for a takedown. And she doesn't have the strongest takedown defense. Now she does have like grappling, like she's got jujitsu. She can threaten subs, but her submission offense is more effective than her takedown defense. And Valentina rarely ever gets submitted other than that one time. So based off those styles, Grasso wasn't really a bad matchup for Val. All Val really had to worry about was just the boxing of Grasso, which in the first fight, it caught her off guard. Like, I think Val came in overconfident in her own striking because Val had that, aura about her that no one can strike with me. Everyone wants to take me down. But Grasso was the first person who was confident, was able to stand toe to toe with her, and actually hit her without getting punished for it, land with precision. So once Valentina adapted to the boxing, she took away Grasso's biggest advantage. Grasso really didn't have any hope of winning the fight because, okay, I can't outbox her and I can't stop her takedowns. And that moment that she found late in round 4, um, you know, that opportunity is not going to present itself more than once. Like when Val called Grasso a chance fighter, she wasn't lying. Like Grasso is an opportunist, okay? Especially at her best. If she sees a moment of error or a mistake, she will capitalize on it, right? That's why she went from kind of getting outstruck by JoJo Wood to catching her spinning back fist, getting on her back and rear naked choking her. But Natalia, her style doesn't rely on just those one split second mistakes. She has not only the striking, she's more athletic than Alexa Grasso, and she has 92% takedown defense. Now, who knows? Maybe Val could break that statistic and lower it down a notch or a bunch of notches. But I'm going to give Natalia the benefit of the doubt and assume that she's going to be able to defend most of Valentina's takedowns. And if she does get taken down, I'm going to predict she's going to pop right back up, unlike Grasso, and more like Manon Fiorot. Because Manon, when she got taken down, easily got up. Okay? Um, Zhang, Grasso, they were too small and not strong enough. And Zhang Weili has always been easy to control. And I think we lost sight of that because of the Tatiana Suarez fight. And I think the Tatiana fight is why a lot of people were heavily confident in Zhang beating Val, because they thought if she could stop Tatiana's wrestling, then Val probably won't be able to wrestle her. And for some reason, people thought that Weili could win on the feet, which I thought was garbage. But I said going into that fight that the only way Zhang Weili can beat Val is if she is stronger and if she can out wrestle her. Because I said if the size and strength discrepancy is too much, there's no way Weili will win this fight. And I was absolutely right. But I think Natalia, she might be the chosen one, okay? She's got the youth, the athleticism, the diverse striking, the footwork, okay? She mirrors Valentina's style when it comes to the striking, but I think she's the upgrade. Val's advantage is her overall well-roundedness, better ground game, and more experience over 5 rounds, and in championship fights, and her fight IQ. That's really about it. It has to be her time, man. Val already had her time. Valentina Shevchenko has been champion forever, man. Someone has to beat her. Someone has to beat her. And that's why it's a shame that Ditcheva's not in the UFC, because I know Dakota would beat her. I'm like super confident. And people don't believe me. People say, oh, DJ, you're crazy. Ditcheva would lose. She only crushed cans in the PFL. Trust me, I know what I'm seeing. When I look at Dakota's style and I look at Val's style, I'm like, This is the perfect anti-Valentina style. Even more than Silva. Even more than Natalia Silva. Because I can see ways Val could end up beating Silva. Against Ditcheva, I actually struggle to see how she wins that fight. I think Ditcheva is the better fighter. And I think if she was in the UFC right now, I think if the UFC, they were actually planning on trading Marab with Dakota. If that went through, Dakota would be UFC champ right now. I don't stuff with her health, not being able to fight, but Barber, she's entertaining, and I think she's a great addition to the current wave of top flyweight. So it would be a shame for her to lose to Karine, especially the fact that Karine lost to freaking Viviane Araujo. Like, come on, man, that's pathetic. You're not beating Vivi Araujo. I am going to say Barber's going to win that fight. Actually, okay, let's see. Yep, I think she would definitely beat Furo. That was going to be my question. Is someone going to figure out this hold of him down fight style? Nah, nah. Ditcheva is not getting taken down and mauled by Valentina. That's not happening. Ditcheva has great takedown defense. Yeah, Natalia destroys Blanchfield. Like, people now are hyping up Erin just because she subbed Cortez, but I knew she beat Cortez. Cortez is a fucking bum. Cortez sucks. That was like a layup win for her. But Blanchfield, I like her and I do kind of like her style, but at the same time I don't. I love that she's got a great gas tank and that she can break people. She melts people. She can win the game of attrition. She's got great grappling, right? I like that about her. But what I don't like is she gets hit too much, okay? Poor striking defense, poor striking overall, and she mainly relies on her opponents gassing out, and her wrestling offense is not the greatest. And what happens if she runs into someone who's not going to get tired, someone who can keep up with that pace, someone who can consistently defend her takedowns? Like, if she fought Valentina Shevchenko, she gets pieced up, gets handily beaten. And I used to think Erin could beat Valentina, but the more I've seen Val fight and look good since the first Grasso fight. And the more I've seen Erin get exposed, like by Santos and by Manon, I'm like, yeah, she's not beating Valentina Shevchenko. And yeah, Natalia would defend her takedowns, dance around her, pick her apart. That's like a walk in the park for Silva. Val did it to Jessica, Alexa, Whaley. I don't like it. Yeah, but she didn't do it to Manon, though. And she's not doing it to Natalia. And I don't think she'll do it to Dakota either. And if she doesn't, she is cooked. And let me explain why. Valentina Shevchenko always struggles with women who have size on her, who have height. Well, height doesn't always mean anything because of Chukagian, but Dakota's not Caitlin Chukagian. But she's always struggled with women who are physically imposing. Amanda Nunes. Why do you think Amanda beat her twice? Tyler Santos, why do you think she struggled with Santos? Yeah, whatever, she won the fight. But why do you think that fight was as hard as it was? Why do you think Manon Furo did as well as she did? Because of her size and her strength. So Ditcheva is bigger, stronger, taller, longer, but Ditcheva is also a very good striker. And Valentina striking versus Dakota striking, Valentina is a patient, low output counter striker. Dakota Ditcheva can counter strike, but offensively, I believe she's better than Valentina Shevchenko. She's way more aggressive, way more output, way more volume. Okay, she can play that range game with Shevchenko on the feet, but if she needs to make it an ugly, dirty scrap, I think she can do that as well. And she's also got a strong Muay Thai game. If anyone can take Val in the clinch, hold her against the cage, I mean, Manon did it. Dakota can do it, but Dakota can do double the damage that Manon was ever able to do. Manon couldn't really do any damage. But Dakota will be able to land elbows to the head, knee her to the body consistently, slow her down with those clinch attacks. And honestly, I could see her finishing Shevchenko if not winning a very clear decision. Okay? And I mean, look at the differences in their performances against Tyler Santos. Tyler Santos almost beat Val, took her to a split decision. Ditcheva finished Dakota in Ditcheva finished Santos in a round or two or something like that. And Ditcheva would also finish Alexa Grasso as well. She wouldn't take Lauren Murphy to the fourth round. And I don't know if she'd finish Zhang, although I could see it. Actually, yeah, I don't know about that, but she would win. So there's really no comparison there. But yeah, I think Natalia and Ditcheva are the worst matchups for Valentina Shevchenko. Whaley can go back to crushing cans and getting endlessly praised for it. Man, you're a Whaley hater, aren't you? You really hate Zhang Whaley. What did Zhang ever do to you? I mean, if she beat Santos on the sauce, that is actually something to brag about. Because who's to say Santos hasn't been juicing when she fought Valentina? And you know what? If she wasn't and was juiced against Ditcheva, then you can't say that Dakota beat a worse Tyler Santos. You cannot say that. Off topic, but Tony Ferguson has another boxing match on December 20th against Warren Spencer, but back to the topic at hand. Ditcheva wins that pretty easily. Yeah, and then as far as Ferguson's boxing match, do you think he's gonna win that, Toron? Also, Toron, what do you think of the fights at UFC 322? Because we had three big welterweight fights. We had Prates ending Leon Edwards' career, Michael Morales ruining Sean Brady's title shot, and uh, Islam Makhachev giving that impressive performance that he did, going through a tough opponent like Jack Della Maddalena and making it look easy, which I predicted in an individual video that is exactly what would happen. So many people were saying Jack was going to be a tough fight, was going to be the toughest opponent of Islam's career, and he could maybe finish Islam late. Like a lot of people were saying JDM will win by round 4 TKO. And I'm like, nah, Islam can win by decision if he needs to. And in fact, I'm like, you know what? I think he will win by decision against Jack Della Maddalena. I predicted exactly how the fight would go. Like word for word, bar for bar, flow for flow, the fight went exactly as I said it would. I said that JDM wouldn't get finished because I knew Islam isn't finishing him on the feet. Jack is on paper the better striker, has a good chin, decent defense, although sometimes he can be a little hittable. Makhachev has some power, but he's not. I knew he wasn't knocking out Jack on the feet. And I knew he wasn't submitting Jack because Jack was training with Craig Jones, okay? And JDM has never really been the easiest dude in the world to finish. JDM has great survivability on the ground. So I'm like, okay, Jack won't get finished, but is he stopping the takedowns? No. Is he going to get back up and enforce his striking? No. And that's exactly what happened. He couldn't get back up, couldn't force the striking, survived, but could do nothing to Islam and lost a dominant decision. And so many people were talking about how, Jack Della Maddalena, he doesn't fight like he's afraid of the takedown threat. He always still stays confident in his hands. But that's not what we saw against Islam because that dude barely let his hands go. Hold on a second. So you're saying height means nothing, Lalita. Height don't mean shit. It depends. Like, if you know how to use your height and reach, then it actually does matter. That's why John Jones was dominant for so long, because he knew how to use his height and reach, along with his overall skill set. That's why Israel Adesanya, for the time that he did, had a good run as a middleweight champion. He was like the tallest dude there, but with elite level striking and knew how to use his reach and keep distance. I wish Juice was in the chat so that we can come stream again. That would have been cool. I know. Last time I went streaming was like 5 weeks ago, I think. It was like fight week of Aspinall versus Gan. You got Topuria talking crazy like, dude, Islam beat your ass. Yeah, exactly. I think Makhachev would win that fight. Now, I know there's some people saying that, Topuria and JDM aren't on the same level and lighter man's skill. And I mean, yeah, Ilia Topuria and Jack Della Maddalena were like the same size and Ilia was a natural welterweight. Obviously, Ilia sleeps JDM. I'm not denying that. And I know that Ilia, he's got that lower center of gravity. He's got Greco-Roman wrestling. So the fight wouldn't be as easy as the JDM fight, but I still think Makhachev would win. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Islam head kicked him. Like, Ilya's been hurt by a head kick multiple times, okay? Jai Herbert dropped him with the head kick. Now I know Max and Volk tried to catch him with the same shot. It didn't work, but I wouldn't be shocked if Islam found that shot somewhere in the fight, drops him, and then instead of maybe getting a TKO, maybe he finds a submission. That could happen. Why didn't anyone say Val was too small fighting Manon like they did with Wei fighting Val? Why didn't everyone say Val needs to move down to strawweight? There's a difference. There's a major difference. One, because Valentina was a former bantamweight. Valentina didn't look that small compared to Manon Furo. Valentina's been putting on a lot of size lately as well, okay? Manon has some height. Yeah, Manon has some size, but it didn't affect Valentina Shevchenko. Valentina wasn't as strong as Manon, and the strength affected her when it came to being able to maintain control on the ground. And it made it kind of difficult to shake Manon off when Manon would get a hold of her, and it made it easier for Manon to hold her against the fence, because other girls weren't really able or wouldn't really be able to do that to Shevchenko. But Shevchenko did not look that physically insignificant compared to Furo, okay? And Valentina was not moving up from a division, fighting a bigger opponent. I mean, she's fighting a bigger opponent, but she's been in flyweight for years. Zhang Weili moved up to the flyweight division for the first time ever, or maybe for the first time since pre-UFC. Okay, we've never seen her compete in this weight class before, and you could clearly see there was a size difference between the two. That Weili did look significantly shorter and significantly smaller, and that matters. And nobody is saying that Valentina did not win with skill. Valentina, no doubt, is the more skilled fighter than Zhang Weili, but with her having that bigger woman strength to her, it made the fight even more impossible for Zhang Weili to win. Topuria will be too small for welterweight. It's not his weight class. He might as well stay in and defend the belt a few times. The UFC shouldn't allow him to move up. Yeah, that would be dumb. And honestly, like I don't trust Topuria, man. Like I'm gonna do my champs by the end of 2026 prediction December, not this month, so probably like in 4 weeks. And I could easily say it's a no-brainer. Topuria is gonna be lightweight champ. But honestly, I can't trust Ilya. He's very arrogant. He's got his head up his ass. He's all over the place. I said he'd be champ by the end of 2025 in featherweight. And then this guy decided to go to the lightweight division and vacate. So Volk got the belt back. Didn't see that coming. So what if Ilya moves up and vacates the lightweight title? You know? Ilya's not the most reliable champ, and he's inactive. Should have already had a fight by the end of this year. And he's not fighting. Like Ilya should have been fighting at UFC 323. Like I don't care to watch Merab and Pantoja double headline. We're gonna sit through 5 rounds of Merab, doing his thing to Peter Yan, and we're gonna have another boring, predictable Pantoja win against Joshua Van when we could have been watching Ilya Topuria highlight real KOing Paddy Pimblett or Justin Gaethje. We could have been watching one of the biggest superstars in the sport closing out the final pay-per-view of the year. And yeah, at welterweight, like, dude, Islam looked so huge at 170. Like 170 suits Makhachev. Ilya Topuria, if Ilya moves up to welterweight, Ilya's gonna look, not only is he gonna look small, he's gonna look fat. He's gonna look bloated. And I think him fighting Islam at 170 is the worst case scenario for Ilya. I think lightweight he'd have a better chance because Islam is the one who has to cut back down. Okay, he's the one who has to deplete himself. Ilya naturally fits into 155. Ilya perfectly fits into the 55 division. Okay, that's the perfect weight class for Topuria. But if he has to add even extra weight and extra muscle just to fight Makhachev, he's going to be slower. His gas tank will probably be affected, and it'll just be easier for Islam. You're out to lunch, pal. Size difference between Manon and Val was greater than Val Weili. Not really. Oh, did you watch Fatima fight or not? Yeah, I did watch her fight. I did watch her fight against I did see her fight against Angela Hill, and I was very impressed. I hope she can, continue to do her thing, continue to succeed. I think she's very talented. I think she's a great striker. And you know what? Yeah, I think she's got a bright future in this division. And as far as like who she should fight next, I said in my like full postcard reaction video, I would like to see her fight maybe Lucindo or the loser of Angela, or not Angela, the loser of Jillian versus Lemos. Because I feel like whoever wins that is not going to want to fight backwards. But I also wouldn't mind her fighting like Lupe Godinez as well. I think Ilya loses either way. Yeah, no, I think he does too. I think either way he's losing. I think if Islam would have, like, um, if Bilal Muhammad beat JDM in May, Islam wouldn't have moved up. He would have fought Topuria, and then we may have not seen Ilya Topuria become double champion. Like the timeline would have been so much different. Standing advantage, Lemos. On the ground, advantage, Robertson. Yeah, I agree. I don't know who will win that fight because Lemos, I mean, she got subbed by Verna Jandiroba, so she can be submitted. But her takedown defense is kind of improving. Like, in moments against Verna, her takedown defense looked good. And against Tatiana, she made her work for every takedown and kept getting back to her feet and mainly just spent most of the fight against the cage and off her back. Um, and Jillian's not as good of a wrestler as Tatiana, but she's got more of a submission threat than Suarez. So she could finish. She absolutely could finish Amanda Lemos on the ground. But if it stays standing, Lemos is gonna crush her. I'm glad she got Hill out of there. Me too. Fatima versus Stern. Well, not now. I don't think Fatima deserves a title shot over Tatiana Suarez, but it doesn't matter because I don't know if Tatiana's getting a title shot now. I mean, Zhang wasn't clear about what her next move is, but I would think that Wei Li is going to go back down to strawweight and fight for her belt back. And I mean, that's the right move because Dern, she's got to prove herself. Mackenzie Dern has to beat Zhang to legitimize her title reign. She has to beat her to make it official, which I don't think is going to happen. I think Zhang Weili will beat her ass and be a three-time champion. But we'll see. I mean, it's MMA, anything can happen, but I think we're going to be in a system reset. And I said this a couple of weeks ago, or I think last month, I'm like, what's going to happen is Weili's going to lose to Val. She's going to go back to strawweight, and she's going to continue dominating like nothing happened and retire on top. And then we're going to get Valentina versus Natalia. That was my exact prediction. Nah, if it's not Zhang, it should be Tatiana Suarez because she's like the highest. She's the number one contender, and she only had one loss in the division, which was to Zhang Weili. That's it. One loss. Jillian, too low ranked, and Lemos just lost to Tatiana. So why should she get a title shot off one win, but Tatiana can't? I don't understand that. It makes zero sense. Because Tatiana beat Lemos. So yeah, if it's not Zhang, it's got to be Tatiana. That is the fight to make. And even Dern called for that fight as well. She's been wanting that fight because you have two of the best grapplers in the division. You got Tatiana, the best wrestler with a submission ability, although she's not subbing Dern, of course, but good awareness of jiu-jitsu defense, great top control, and then you got Dern, who's one of the biggest threats off her back. That's a very interesting fight. And that's a fight that a lot of fans have been debating about and speculating about for years. Can you believe how delusional Taporia fans are saying Islam moved up to welterweight because he was afraid of Taporia? Yeah, that's crazy talk. That's crazy talk. Moving up and fighting Jack, if anything, was a bigger risk. And he wasn't scared. Like, Islam literally said he's not leaving the sport without a second belt. Like, he's already cleaned out the lightweight division. I mean, I know he fought Moicano in his last fight, but that was Armin's fault, right? But he already fought Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier, Alexander Volkanovski twice, okay? And anyone else who didn't get their shot at Islam, oh well, they missed the boat. They had their chance. Islam had bigger fish to fry. He already completed his legacy in the lightweight division. And now that he's the champion, man, he's got a killer's row behind him. Like Makachev has some crazy So Jack Della Maddalena, number one contenders, Bilal Muhammad, okay? So Bilal is fighting Ian Gary this weekend. I'm going to do a prediction video on that maybe later tonight or tomorrow. And then I'll also like to close the week do a Sarukian Hooker prediction video. So I'm not going to reveal my predictions in this live. But you got Machado versus Remember the Name. The winner of that could easily position themselves to the title shot at Islam. But then Michael Morales, I mean, what he did to Sean Brady. Sean Brady was the number one guy in the division for almost the whole year. He should have been fighting for the belt. If Islam wasn't moving up, I think Brady would have fought Della Maddalena for the belt, and I think he would have beaten Della Maddalena. I think he would have beaten Jack based off Islam did, which sucks, but he had to take the risk. And now Michael beat the guy who beat Leon and now is top 3, and he smoked Sean Brady. So he easily could have positioned himself for a shot at the belt. There's Shavkat Rakhmonov, who I thought he did secure his title shot when he beat Ian Gary. But then little did we know he would be injured and out for the rest of 2025. So that doesn't happen. Shavkat doesn't get a title shot. I doubt he's not going to get another shot without having fought again this year. So he's got to fight someone else. And then there's Carlos Prates. I don't think he deserves an immediate shot right now. But I mean, it wouldn't be crazy to say he deserves it either. And then Kamaru Usman. Now, I don't think Usman deserves shit, but I do see why Kamaru Usman is holding out for a title shot and declining other contenders. Like, let me explain what Usman is doing. Because Kamaru Usman is like, what, 38, 39 years old. He's already done the heavy lifting, as that contender who no one wanted to fight. He's already done that heavy lifting of being the guy who fights everyone, anywhere, anytime, runs through contenders, and just keeps beating guy after guy until there's nobody left, until he becomes undeniable. He's already went through that. Then he's had his long title reign with 5 defenses, okay? He's already been to the top of the mountain, right? Now he's older. And what Kamaru Usman was doing from 2015 to 2018 before he got his 2019 title shot, that's going to be a lot harder for him to do now that he's older, right? He had just came back from a 2-year layoff. He had just dominated Joaquin Buckley. So I think Usman is playing his cards right. He wants one last shot at the title, at becoming a 2-time champion. And right now, the welterweight division is at its most dangerous. So any fight with any of these guys could throw away the opportunity. Like right now, it is not safe for Usman at this time to just fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. Because if he does, he's more than likely going to lose to one of these dudes and not fight for the belt. So he's trying to get this. He's trying to be smart about it. He's trying to wait it out, and he's hoping that Islam picks him. He's hoping that the UFC picks him. I don't agree with what Usman is doing, but I see why he is doing it. But if he wanted the least riskiest fight possible, he should have took the fight with Bilal Muhammad this weekend. I think he likely would have been able to beat a guy like Bilal. That is the least dangerous guy right now in the division. That is the least dangerous guy that he could fight right now. So now, if he has to take another fight, he might have to fight Michael Morales or Prates. You know what I mean? Or Ian Gary. Although I don't think Ian would finish him, but I think Ian would win. So if he wants that shot, he's got to go through the killer's row. If he's not going to get it right now off of just beating Buckley. So I'm going to say Usman is going to be forced to fight someone else. I'm going to predict they're going to make Usman versus Shavkat on Paramount, on one of these Paramount fight nights probably. And I mean, you know what? I could see them making the Ilya Taporia fight, unfortunately. I mean, that's the fight everyone wants. But I could see them making Ilya Islam in the White House. And then they're gonna do Carlos Prates versus Michael Morales. And then Bilal Muhammad is actually, hold on. I guess maybe the winner of Ian Muhammad might sit around and wait for the winner of I don't know what's gonna happen actually. But I think the most deserving guy is Morales. The guy who's most likely gonna get it is Ilya because of politics, right? And who shouldn't get it and should have to earn it, Shavkat and Usman. That's why I think they should fight each other. Next for Dern is Tatsuyori Wei. Thank you, the most sensible guy in this chat. Everyone else is saying, "Oh, Tatiana doesn't deserve it." Of course, she deserves it. The only person that she should step aside for is Wei Li because Wei Li dominated her, and Wei Li is the former dominant two-time champion, and she never truly lost the belt. So, and I think honestly, Wei Li should not have had to have vacated her belt. It's just the new rule that they made. But Zhang should have got to keep her belt. Dern and Verna should have been for the interim title. That's what it should have been. Like, Zhang should still be champ right now. Dern said more than once she isn't ready for Wei Li, so Dern is getting her ass whooped. Yeah, it's unfortunate for her. DJ Lemos is number 5, so if Jillian dominates her, then Jillian will be top 5, and I think she has a good case if she beats Lemos better than Tatiana did. I mean, we'll see. Val versus Dakota is crazy. It is. It is a crazy fight, and I hope we see it. Because then you people will see exactly what I'm talking about when I said that Ditcheva is their kryptonite. Val versus Kayla is stupid. Facts. That's a dumb fight. I don't know why Kayla's calling for it. I don't even know why Val is down for that. Like, I want Valentina to lose, but I don't want her to go up and fight Kayla and lose. Even though I know she'll lose, it won't be satisfying because she's not losing her belt. She's not losing a fair game to someone her size. Like, she's obviously not beating Kayla because we've seen Val get out wrestled before. We've seen Pena hold her against the cage, take her down, Santos out wrestle her. What do you think Harrison's going to do to her? Harrison will easily take her down and she will maul her. That's not even a fight. That's not even a fight. That's a walk in the park for Kayla Harrison. Kayla should be worrying about Amanda Nunes right now. Like, I don't know why they haven't booked that fight yet. That's the fight that should be happening. They should have already been set to fight in December. So I don't know what the hell is going on with that. But Kayla versus Nunes, that fight can't happen soon enough, though. And you know what? Now I actually want Amanda to win. And you know why? Because I already got to see Pena become champ again. I know Aldana will never be champ. So I kind of hope Nunes wins and then just sticks around. Because literally, she was the most entertaining women's MMA champion that we've had in years, okay? More entertaining than Zhang Wei Li. And Zhang is hella entertaining. Way more entertaining than Valentina Shevchenko. Why do you think the UFC let her headline multiple pay-per-views, whereas Val has never headlined a single pay-per-view in her life? Exactly. So I hope that Nunes wins and stays back in the game for a couple more years, you know? And I know Nunes talked about, going back to she talked about going to the flyweight division. I think she's joking. I don't think Nunes is that stupid because she's already struggled making bantamweight. Of course she's not gonna freaking cut down to of course she's not gonna cut down to the women's flyweight division. That's giving Val the advantage. She should do the trilogy with Valentina in her own turf, where I think she'll beat her again. Val versus Silva is insane. I agree. Does Whaley get an immediate rematch? With Val? Natalia's a bad matchup for Dakota. That's debatable. That's debatable. I don't think so, but yeah, hold on a second. I'm doing something right now, so I can't really send a link, though I can still talk. Oh, okay, well that's not a rematch, but an automatic title shot then. Of course. Of course she deserves it. Cause she's defended her belt like 4 times. 4 or 5 times. Never lost the title. That's like hers for the taking. And she's gonna close out next year as the strawweight champion. And this is the thing about women's MMA, like these women's divisions, except for women's flyweight, which is that's why it's insane that Val is still the champ. Flyweight is elevated and leveled up, but the women's bantamweight division hasn't grown, and women's strawweight has only gotten worse. So until like the strawweights actually get it together, like Valentina Shevchenko, or sorry, not Valentina. Wei Li is not losing at strawweight anytime soon. And I thought the only one in that division that could beat her was Tatiana. And then we saw what happened. Tatiana couldn't do it. And it's not because Tatiana is not a good fighter. It's just because stylistically, Wei Li is a horrible matchup. And I've always thought, if not Tatiana, then who? Like, if Tatiana can't do it, then no one's going to do it. Not even Verna, who I said was overrated, and I picked Dern to beat her. All right. All right, you still here, dim sum? I'm gonna be like on this thing till 5, and then I gotta go. I gotta like run some errands. The guy who asked for it. Okay, hold on.
Can't wait for
Yo,
Ilya to move up and fight Islam because Islam's gonna smoke him.
yeah, I agree.
Like, I love Ilya too, and I really like. I've become an Ilya super fan, but he's getting all those bitches. But like, bro, Ilya's not gonna win that fight because Islam's just the grappling discrepancy is too massive, and Islam has a massive reach on him.
Definitely.
And like he's gonna dictate the pace in the entire fight. And Islam, like the grappling is like the striking isn't as one-sided as the grappling is, and that's Islam's gonna win that. Iliad's too small at 170, and these guys can match his power, especially because they're
Yep.
bigger. Iliad's pound for pound the best power puncher, but he's not the best power puncher overall. Morales is a harder puncher than because he outweighs him by so much.
Easy. easily.
Also, I'm kind of like I'm not worried about Val in her next fight because I know it's a very dangerous fight for her, but I don't mind Natalia winning. I don't.
Me neither.
I
Well, I mean, you
actually
know why
really
I don't mind, but
I know why you don't mind, but I honestly don't mind it. Natalia would be the perfect like passing of the torch.
100%. 100%.
Also, I don't think Natalia's ever gonna surpass Val anyways, or anybody. It's gonna take over a decade for someone to beat Val's record. So
Oh,
I don't think
totally.
I don't think it's a stress. I think she cemented her place and she's gonna be pound for pound number two forever. And as long as she does, I don't think anyone's ever gonna finish Val ever again. I don't want to jinx it, but I don't think it's ever gonna happen. I don't. I think it's gonna
I
just be by
I could see you being
decisions.
right.
It's only gonna be by decisions. The only person that's gonna finish her is Dakota. If and that's if Val keeps fighting at Dakota's pace if they're in the clinch and Val doesn't move out of the clinch.
Yep. That's why I keep trying to tell Claude, but he won't listen.
Claude's biased.
He is.
Cause
Hassan.
like
The
but
only one
is
to beat her is Dakota. Like, yeah,
yeah.
Dakota is the one, if not Natalia.
Like I don't know. The Silva is like a real dangerous threat for Val because Silva can actually and can capitalize off any mistakes you make in the striking department. While Val makes zero mistakes in striking, Val can at times I don't know what it is, but it's like when people pressure Val, she thrives off the chaos and the pressure. But when Val people circle around Val and actually fight strategic and tactical with her,
Hmm.
and don't make mistakes, Val gets frustrated
That's
because she
right.
can't out IQ you.
Exactly. That's why I think Val needs to be able to take her down consistently and control her the way she did to Grasso. Because I think the striking is going to be way more difficult than it was with Alexa. Because Alexa stands in front of you, stands flat footed. I mean, she does kind of move her feet, but she doesn't move
When
like in circles
yeah,
and
but
dart
when
in and
Grasso
out,
was
you know?
fainting, it was frustrating Val. Silva faints way better, so that's going to be a problem for Val. Val has over 90 fights in kickboxing, and you want to know what's crazy? In those 90 fights, she destroyed all these girls, but none of those girls had the movement Silva had, which is insane. But then Muay Thai,
Exactly.
then again, they're flat-footed most of the time, especially in the women's division. So I don't put it past that. MMA striking is totally different,
100%.
and this is in boxing. So I don't know how Silva adapted. Well, she does work. She's from a kickboxing Brazilian gym, so and she has insane athleticism, so that probably makes sense. But the way she was developing at like I don't know, like that style that she had, it wasn't there 13 fights. I mean, it was there 13 fights ago, but she evolved so insanely.
Who's
It's like
Silva?
crazy. Silva.
What's up, Zaman? But yeah, no, Silva has evolved. That's the thing I noticed about her. Like the version of her who fought Andrade was night and day different than the version of her who fought Alexa Grasso. Like the version of Natalia who fought Alexa was the best version of Silva that we've ever seen. Like I picked Alexa Grasso for a reason because I saw moments that Jessica Andrade had. Like Andrade was having some success with her pressure, having some success walking down Silva and like landing good shots. And I thought, someone with Grasso's reach and boxing could do even better than what Jessica did. But Natalia seemed to have, I guess, closed that gap um, against Alexa Grasso and was actually able to use her pressure against her.
Okay, like just to let you know, MMA art Hassan. Wei Yi doesn't strike like Natalia. Wei Yi striking is night and day different from Natalia. Natalia is on a whole nother level compared to Wei Yi's.
Exactly.
And also, like Whaley, okay, I get Manon was bigger than Val compared to how Val was bigger than Whaley, but Val is accustomed to 125, while Whaley isn't. So there was a difference. There's a difference in that. And Silva, like, she's not that small. Like, she's small, but she's not tiny like Whaley is. And Silva has insane distance managing.
It's the same version. Andrade was just blitzing her, and Grasso was flat-footed. But Grasso's a better fighter than Jessica, and Grasso was also blitzing, and Grasso has like better footwork than Jessica Andrade, and like way better striking.
You know what's insane though? Okay, it just never sits right with me. It never will make sense. That fight will always be a mystery with how Val was able to dominate everybody, but she struggled with Alexa.
Yeah, I know, cause yeah, Grasso gave her hell twice.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know how. Like, the second fight, Val looked insanely good, and she looked stronger than Alexa. But then again, Alexa was doing things that we never thought she couldn't do, in like fucking months ago. Like,
Yep.
and then this happened, and she was able to do shit that no one was able to do to Val. She was able to do damage to Val. No one was able to do it to Val. Val, like, it's crazy. And it's like, how are you struggling against a one-dimensional flat-footed boxer?
Yeah, I know, and that's the thing. Natalia is not a one-dimensional, flat-footed boxer.
And I think it's because it was a mix of Val was never always used to having the speed advantage. She always had the speed advantage over everybody. So when someone was able to match her, and she underestimated Alexa, completely underestimated her. It caught her off by surprise.
Yeah, I think the first fight she underestimated her, and I think the second fight, I don't think she underestimated her, but she fought with ego. Like I think she fought with anger. She was trying to get it back. She was trying to hurt Alexa Grasso, and
That was
Grasso
the
was sort of able to capitalize off that.
but
And the third fight, Val fought perfect, didn't fight with emotion the same way, and completely shut her down.
But like, you can't lie. The second Shevchenko fight, like the second Grasso fight, that was the best version of Val we've ever seen entertaining wise. Like,
Oh
Val
yeah,
that was the like Val wants to do it, she can, like, Val came for damage, and she's proven she can actually put on entertaining performances when she wants to. It's just that now she's constantly trying to perfect her movements now. She's reaching for perfection now that she is trying to look for finishes and entertainment.
yeah, because she's trying to minimize, I guess, the risks. Because against Grasso, she did the second fight. She took a lot of damage, got dropped, and it was a very, very close fight. And it was a draw. And I think after that fight, she's like, I never want to let that happen again. I want to completely make sure there's just no doubt that I won the fight.
Yeah, and Val, like, she was on a 10 fight winning streak before Grasso, and she dominated 9 out of 10 of them, and they were all one sided, completely one sided. Like, she was so used to dominating girls that she got so accustomed to it, and made her complex by the time she fought Grasso.
Yep.
And then
Now
Alexa
Andrade is
was
better at
able
covering
to
this.
stand in the paint with her. And Valentina has so much rage over Grasso in the striking, it's still crazy. But then Grasso, her boxing, it's just that she's still a high level boxer at the end of the day, and they were fighting in the pocket. So she was always gonna give Val hell for that in that. And she would have gave Silva hell if Silva was fighting in the pocket, but she didn't fight Grasso in the pocket. Val did.
Yep. And that was not very smart because the pocket is where Grasso thrives.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, I feel like the best inside close range fighters are Grasso and Whaley.
Zaman thinks this is like Andrade. Like, nah, Andrade is better at covering big distances. Natalia, if she fought Jessica again, Jessica wouldn't land. She wouldn't land a clean punch this time. I guarantee it. Like she wouldn't have a single moment like the first fight.
Manon's been
So
looking
Natalia obviously got better.
Manon's been looking really scary.
Oh yeah, what she did to what's
Asman.
her name? Jasmine Jazz the Visits. I knew she'd win, but I didn't know she would win like that. Like, because Manon has never displayed that level of power before.
She did it in low level competition, but not in the high level. Now, like she's a. I always knew Manon would smoke Whaley. I always knew it, and now it's like
Now you're right. Yeah.
Manona's fucking good,
Yeah,
and
she if she'd be champion if Val didn't exist, Manon would be like the dominant champ right now, I think.
yeah, and she would only struggle with Silva. And I think Manon, like, call me crazy. So Val thrives under Manon's style. Silva will thrive. Silva will be a harder fight for Val, but I feel like Manon would have an advantage over Silva that Val won't have.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, like because styles make fights.
And Silva just like Manon is just so fucking built. She,
And Manon was supposed to fight Silva in 2021, but Silva got injured. That
yeah,
was supposed to be, I think, both their UFC debuts, like
and
at the exact same time.
yeah, and I honestly don't know who would have won in that time, but now it's like, ooh, that fight would be good. But before, I used to think Silva was leagues above Manon, but now Manon is just like she definitely her strength and her power is like it's 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 crazy at 125, and her takedown. She's better at being take. She's harder at being taken down than Silva is because of her autonomy, and
Yeah,
that's
one sec.
the W.
So about the Chev breaking her limits. I mean, if like I said, I've always said this. If Valentina, I said Valentina strikes me as the type of fighter who will keep fighting, like who will just stick around and just keep fighting, right? She doesn't strike me as a fighter who's gonna retire anytime soon. And if that happens, like she's gonna lose eventually. Like age has to catch up to her at some point. Hence why I think Silva has a chance because Natalia, with this year off that she's taking, that she's gonna be improving her game a lot and studying Val. Um, and even if Silva doesn't beat her, Ditcheva's UF or PFL contract is only 2 years. So by 2027, Ditcheva will be in the UFC and will fight Val and beat her if Silva doesn't.
Dakota's coming in 2027
I
or
wish she could come in 2026.
I think she's gonna come at the end. I think it's gonna be at the end of 2026. She'll be signed by the UFC.
Me too. She'll have a couple more PFL fights, crush a couple more cans, and then she's going to join the UFC. And hopefully Val is still there. I hope she sticks to her word of pushing her limits because that's the fight I want to see. If Silva can't do
That's
it,
the
I
greatest.
want to see that fight. Dakota and Silva, Dakota and Valentina. That is the fight to make.
Valentina's gonna maul Dakota if she gets her on the ground. She's gonna destroy her though.
I mean, that is if she can keep her down.
I don't know. I don't. Val is just the way she was able to just crucifix everyone she fights. She crucifixed Amanda in the second fight. I mean, in the first fight, she crucifixed Amanda for the whole round.
In the
Amanda
third round,
in the third round, she had Amanda in a crucifix, and it was for a long. She was pounding on bro. If Valentine, and that was her second UFC fight, and she fought Amanda, a giant. Like, if Val can do that to Amanda, I just imagine what she can do to fucking Dakota. And Amanda has a way better grappling ground game than Dakota does. Amanda can wrestle on to a degree, and she has nasty jiu-jitsu.
oh, definitely. And what was I gonna say again? Yeah, Valentina's crucifixed almost every opponent, but I'm noticing like girls are starting to be able to figure the crucifix out because Grosso got crucifixed, but she escaped and was in the third fight, I think. And then even I think Wei Li got crucifixed, but hey, Zhang Wei Li also managed to escape
Yeah,
as
but when
well.
Val had Grosso in the crucifix in the third fight, she was pounding on her and she had her fully commit. And I honestly do think Val took pity on Grosso. I do think so because I feel like if Val just fought with more aggression and really wanted, she could have finished Grosso in that position. Because there was a moment in that fight where she had Grosso in the crucifix and she was pounding on her.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. Though I don't
But
want to remember that fight.
but then that was only 1 out of 7 times Grasso got out of a fucking crucifix. Like Grasso got out of her crucifix 7 times out of 8. So you're not wrong.
Yeah, no, yeah, because yeah, a lot of people when someone has something that they go to a lot in fights, like eventually people are gonna figure it out. You know,
Yeah,
eventually
you're
people are
break
gonna,
out of men. And if you
yeah.
break out of a man's crucifix, you're gonna break out of Valentina's crucifix.
And I think because look at Jessica Andrade. Remember when she used to slam every opponent she had? Now she slams nobody because people have figured out how to defend her slams.
I know.
And people have solved the crucifix of Shevchenko.
But you know what's crazy before that? Like Val was she crucifixed Priscilla, destroyed her, fucking demolished her. Nico destroyed her, demolished her crucifix. Chikagan crucifix. Jessica I crucifix and head kick. Lauren Murphy ground and pound. Almost crucifix. And then Jessica Andrade crucifix.
Yes.
She was just destroying everybody. And then she fights Talia. Has a fucking insane good fight with Talia. Entertaining fight. Most competitive fight she's ever had. And she still takes no damage, lands all the damage, still puts Talia in a crucifix. And then she fights a Grasso and can't put Grasso in a crucifix.
Nah, he's tripping. Nico Montano did not fight Val. She ducked that fade.
Oh, never mind. But you know what I'm talking. She did that to everybody else.
Oh yeah. No, you're not wrong.
Unopposed, Val has multiple threats for Nat. Yeah, she does have multiple threats for Nat. But I don't know, because, like, Val has a lot of ways that she can win a fight and so much versatility and rage and adaptability. But Natalia, she's not gonna, like, she's gonna dance around Valentina. She's not gonna pressure Val and go into her counters. Valentina thrives off of pressure.
Yep.
Valentina hasn't shown that she can thrive off of an opponent doing lateral on her. But the thing is that worries me for Silva when she's gonna fight Val is that Val is just gonna take her down at will at all costs through the whole fight, and that's gonna be Natalia's gas tank. It's gonna take out her gas tank, and we've never seen Natalia fight a 5 round fight, especially when Valentina's gonna dictate the pace and be grappling heavy.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about that as well. Like, I'm kind of worried. What if it's going to be like Nunes versus GDR? Because Jermaine was the one person that could outstrike Amanda Nunes, but then she lost because she couldn't defend the takedowns. So, I mean, it could be the same thing. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same thing
And
for
Val's a better wrestler than Amanda.
Silva. Oh yeah,
Valentina's probably top 3 best female wrestlers now. For a fucking 17-time Muay Thai kickboxing K1 world champion and a judo national federation champ, bro. This division, it's crazy how she's been champion for almost a decade, but it makes sense. I'm not gonna glaze her too much, but this division built up because of her skill set.
oh yeah. People had to get better.
It's insane. But Amanda, what's weird about 125 and 135 is that Amanda, the division got worse because of Amanda's power, but the division got better off of Shevchenko's skill.
Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying a little bit. Yeah, women's bantamweight is a lost cause though. Like, one of the worst divisions ever.
It used to be the historical, monumental women's division, and now it's turned to shit.
Oh yeah, and Chev won't walk into Silva's distance either. It'll be a super low volume fight. That's guaranteed. I can see that.
Valentina has 60 takedowns for females. That's lower than I thought she did. I thought she had way more. Marab has double takedowns of that.
Oh yeah, he does. And he's fighting in a couple of weeks.
Marab is the GOAT. Bro,
I
Marab
agree.
my number one fighter right now, pound for pound. He's the number one fighter. You know why? Because Marab is just destroying a top level division. This bantamweight division is stacked as shit. And Marab is running circles through everybody. He's running circles through high level jiu-jitsu, high level grapplers, high level strikers, people that can mix it all. He's destroying all of them. He's evolving.
He is. His striking is getting better as well.
Is this his third title defense or his fourth? And
His fourth.
he just got the championship. And Valentina just defended second, and this is Marab's fourth. Holy shit!
That is crazy.
This is probably one of the greatest first rank bantamweights ever, if not the greatest. And if he beats Jan, which he will, but if he doesn't, I'll be happy for. That'd be a win-win for me. But if he beats Jan, then this is just it. He's the GOAT.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Like he'll have like the most title defenses in bantamweight history, and he's like I think he has the most wins over champions or something like that.
Yeah. And his dominant trajectory is insane too. Like
Yeah, he's got the best resume of any of the past bantamweight champions.
and any of the current champions now, he's for a divisional champion. A divisional champion, his resume is the most stacked right now.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Before he was a champion, he's been in the UFC for like less than 5 years, and he's has just as many wins as Valentina has. They both have 16. He's about to surpass her with 17. And Val's been in the UFC for a decade.
Oh yeah, that's crazy actually. Because Marab, I mean, I think he came to the UFC like what 2017, 2018, or something like that. So maybe not too long after Val, but
In 2020.
no, he because he had a loss in 2018 in the UFC.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think I forgot who beat him.
And it's not
It was
that bad.
Ricky Simone, I think.
Because like Val, like that would look bad on Val too if someone that's been 5 years has just as many wins as she has when she's been here as a decade.
For
But
sure.
no, it's good. It's good. But still, like 16 wins in the UFC is a lot. It's a lot. But when you've been in the UFC for a decade, it's not really a lot. That's why I need Val fighting as much as possible, getting as much highlights.
Whoa.
I just
Getting
feel like
the
the highlights of her. Of the same fights, and I just want her to have as many fights as possible so they can play different highlights, you know? But it is what it is.
Yeah, me too.
Did you notice how Dakota's trending all over YouTube? They're just making all these fucking YouTube videos of Dakota and thumbnails and her top 10, top 15 knockouts.
Yeah, I do notice that.
Like, what's going on? Is she paying people? Like, who I've never seen anybody. No, Val hasn't gotten this much attention. What's going on?
Dakota's finishing people. That's what's going on.
This is scary. Like, nah. Like, I've never seen this happen. Like, all these channels are making Dakota videos and no Valentina videos. This is insanity. This is destruction. This is horrific horribility. Talia Natalia and Val are gonna fight in May.
Yeah, I think so too. May or June.
I hope it's May.
Yeah, it probably will be. Wouldn't be surprised. Maybe Mother's Day weekend.
That'd be nice. And I'd be happy for whoever wins because Val has already accomplished everything. So I don't care anymore. And it's going to be by decision, so the loss won't be that bad. And Natalia gets to be a champion. So I thought I wasn't going to like Natalia, but nah, I fucking love her. Like,
Me too. Yeah. At first, I wasn't like fully sold on Silva. I wasn't really a fan. But then she did kind of grow on me a little bit.
I think it's cause be honest though, if Silva was chopped, we wouldn't like her. We would think she's a good fighter, but we wouldn't like her.
I guess it depends. I mean, I like Manon, but I don't really find Manon that attractive. But
Okay, I see
that
what
I
you're
mean,
trying.
but Silva being attractive definitely does help her case. Like you're not
Yeah.
entirely wrong.
Like, okay, we would like Silva. We would like Silva, but we wouldn't root for her as much as we would.
Yeah, probably not. Chev won't fight more frequently than twice in a year. She says she has chronic injuries. I wonder what kind of injuries she's dealing with.
I
I
think
wonder.
Val's saying that to get a break. I think she can fight, but she wants breaks. You can't get a break, Val. You have to keep fighting, keep defending your title, keep being the GOAT. I'm just kidding. Nah, I'm kidding. She had two back-to-back training camps and she's been going to Thailand training crazy.
Oh yeah, she's been like really going at it.
Yeah, this is her third fight in like a year. She's fought three times in a year, so she's good.
Totally.
I'm glad Val's fighting active now. She's been fighting active her whole career, but she didn't for a while. She actually no, she's been fighting active for her whole career, but 2024 she didn't fight active. In 2022 she didn't fight
That
active.
is true. She fought once in 2022. I think the reason for that is because she couldn't find an opponent.
That's true. She cleaned out the division.
And she
That's
was
how.
frustrated. She's like, oh, no one wants to fight me or whatever. And then she took the rest of the year off and then fought Grasso in like early 2023.
Yeah. Nobody, bro. That's crazy how everyone was ducking fade with Val.
Yeah, now everyone wants to fight her. Like before, people were like, oh, I don't want to fight Val. I'm not ready for Val. Even Manon herself was not confident. But then
That's how I
we
knew
saw what's
Manon
been
was
happening.
gonna win.
Like we saw she had a close fight with Santos, which kind of broke the spell a little bit, and then she got finished by Grasso. And then even though yeah, she beat Grasso in the third fight, before that she almost loses the second fight, goes to a draw. So now people see her as more beatable, and now these other girls are more confident that they can beat Val or that they might have a chance. Like, hey, if Grasso could do it, I can do it.
Yeah, but let's be for real, okay? Let's be honest for a second. Be honest for a second. Val, she whooped Grasso's ass in that second fight. Like she whooped that ass. She gave her a spanking ass. Grasso couldn't do shit. I'm just kidding. that
Yeah,
was
I
fuck,
figured.
that was a fucking war. Who knew Grasso had bro, Grasso's always gonna remain the biggest mystery. Cause bitch, how the fuck can you go a war with Valentina Shevchenko to be defeated? Like, how do you not how this should have gave you more confidence?
That's what I was saying. That's why I thought she would win the third fight. I thought, oh, she's only going to elevate from here. And I thought Val's age would actually be a factor. I thought, okay, she solved Val. This time she'll do it more convincingly. And then it doesn't happen.
No. Alexa handed the belt to her.
It's unfortunate, man.
Alexa, what the fuck? Alexa.
Yeah, that is one of those biggest like what the hell mysteries in MMA. Like, how did this happen?
Bro, Alexa, bro. Oh man, Alexa. At least it happened. You can't.
Yeah, I'm glad she was champ at least once.
No, Alexa goes down in history as a champion. She'll never say, at least I. It's the biggest loss in MMA history when you compete for the title and you never become a UFC champion. But when you become a UFC champion, you know you reach that pinnacle, so you're good. But
Facts.
it she beat the goat, so she's
Yep.
the first woman in 500 fights to finish Valentina. What the actual fuck?
Yep, and she can proudly say that I was the one who beat Val. I'm the only one who beat Val.
Only one
I'm the
that
only one who finished her.
fucking Alexa, bro.
Yeah. Alexa ducked Aaron.
Alexa needs to fight Rose.
How did she duck Aaron Blanchfield? I don't get it. She did have a leg injury like end of 2024, and she literally was in a cast.
And then she fights Natalia.
Yeah, Natalia's an even
Yeah.
harder fight. So
Natalia's literally a nightmare matchup.
oh, it's hyper. Oh, okay. I can kind of see what you mean then.
Oh, okay. Did you notice when Dana White wrapped the belt around Val's waist?
Or when she broke the belt. But anyway, I gotta go now. But it's been fun talking to y'all, and I'll try to go live again like really soon. Hopefully again this week or like early next week. But thank you all for joining. Thank you for joining me, Sam. And yeah, peace out.